I need to make this video right now. Well, it's still fresh in my mind. So I just had this dream again about the place where the people consume you. They eat you. It I don't know how we got there, but I was in that house again. It was a house. So I find myself in this house again, but I didn't know that it was this, maybe it wasn't the same house, but it was a house. And this time I'm with my wife and my son, and I think in my spirit I feel like we were traveling, and somehow we had stopped in this place. Like, I don't know exactly how we got there, but it's my wife and my son, and honestly, it has a familiar layout to my grandmother's basement floor. None of the things are the same inside, but the layout is kind of the same. And we were traveling, and it was at night, and we stopped in because we were going to rest for the night. And there were several women there, and there were all types of people. There were men there too, but they seemed to be like a family. The only thing I can kind of put it to was, it was literally a family like from Twilight. And yeah, like from the vampires. Like, this is crazy. I hate to use that as a reference because they didn't seem like vampires by any means, and I only reference that because of, well, one, they did eat people, but they were like a family, and they seemed pretty normal at first. But to just get right into it, like to the part that just scared me, man. And I don't put on no, I'm not putting any fear on me. Like, nah, man, I walk with Jesus. But hey, when you're in the dream, man, hey, I guess all is fair, and it's almost like a spiritual realm, man. Yeah. So the part that really stands out is we're trying to find a room or something to get ready to go to bed, and so my wife has my son, and I go into this other room. For some reason, someone's trying to talk to me, and I'm pulled off to the side, and I'm confident that someone's talking to my wife, and she's super friendly, and she's extroverted, so she's just talking, not thinking anything of it. And I go off to the side, and then I'm like led into this other room, and in the beginning it's about trying to work out some sort of details or something, and then I find myself on a bed, and then I'm in a room almost like one of those red light district rooms, and they start trying to do things, and I'm like, no. And in my spirit, man, I think that, if I'm being completely honest, like it spoke to, as much as I love my wife and I love my wife. The physical body, man, so they kept trying to do stuff, and get off me, man. Hold on, man. Like, I ain't trying to be here. No, you tripping, man. And so I get up and I'm trying to leave, and they're not really trying to let me leave. Like, they're really, really trying to make something happen. And as a man, it's like, and as a husband, as a kingdom man, I need to get up out of here. But as a man, I'm not trying to like yell for my wife, but my wife needs to know what's going on, man. I ain't trying to be here. And so there was like 2 of them in there, and get off me. So I get up, and I'm like, no, this is not anything that I want. Listen, I'm not trying to make a ruckus, like you disrespected, but I'm gonna let this slide because we need somewhere to stay or whatever. But there was this feeling about not being able to leave. And man, we already at 6 minutes. Oh man. But listen, got to the part to where they ate books. I don't know what it was about books, but they ate books. Like, they consumed them. That's the only word I can use. Like, it's like they can. Okay, so I make it out of that room. Nothing happens, and I get back to my wife, and I'm like, yo, we need to leave. We need to get out of here, like, right now. Like never mind the conversation. Never mind sleeping for the night. We're not sleeping here. We're leaving. And so we start trying to head out, and then I get this feeling of that if we leave, like, there's something that we need to do before we can leave so that they won't come after us, because I've already been made aware that they're going to consume us. And this is almost like a continuation from this last dream that I had several years back. And so out of protection for my family, I go back to there's a head lady there, and I'm like, hey, what do I need to do? Like, hey, y'all disrespected us, and I don't want you to kill us, but I want us to leave. Like, we're getting up out of here. And that's that. So I was like, what do we need to do? And it came back, like, before we could leave, before we walked out of the front door, I needed to touch someone's ankle or something. Like, she got down on the floor, and she was cooperative, like almost like she knew that we weren't hers to take, and that she was gonna let us go. And so we do that, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but I'm trying to remember as best I can. My wife is aware that we need to get up out of here, and I haven't said it, but I've given her a look like Daddy's like, no, we're not safe. And so she falls in line, and we're getting up out of there. But somehow, I had my Bible. I had my small Bible that my dad gave me, the smallest Bible, the burgundy one with the flap. That he gave me before I went off to war in the Army. So there was like this, almost like a seance thing going on. How are we at 10 minutes already? Oh my goodness. We were in this like, almost like a day room, a light room or whatever. And there was a coffee table and there was like 10 or 15 people in there, and they were all like eating books. And there was just like this thing going on to where they were eating these books, and I was just trying to make sure that they didn't eat and kill us. And so, like, I'm in here. I don't see my wife in this room though. I don't feel like she was there, but my son was. And I didn't know he was in there at first. And maybe my wife was, but I didn't see her. But I'm talking to these people, and I've got small word. It's small, but it's with me. God's word is with me. And the vibe changes. And I'm trying to make my break out of there. So, but I see my son and I go grab him. I go get him. And now he's with me. And someone comes up and one of the ladies, one of the ones who was really offended, one of the ones who really were trying to get at me. And I'm trying to stay away from everybody. I have my son, and I go like I go to the far end of this couch, and I'm like trying to like get down low and hold him so we can like maybe just wait it out. And no, she came over, and then her attention was on my son, and she touched his temple, and it left a scratch. It left a scratch on. He was in front of me. It would have been on his left temple, and it wasn't like a deep scratch. It was like just like a nail scratch where you just barely break the surface, and it doesn't, like, it barely bleeds. But I saw that, and it wasn't aggressive or anything, like just her touch, and it left a scratch. And so I pulled him away, and I try to distract her or something, and then she just goes off, and I'm like, no, don't touch my son. Don't harm him. Don't do anything to him. And so then she like goes off somewhere else, and immediately, like, hey, the whole plan of waiting out, like, it was done. And so we happen to be like on the edge of this, on the side of this couch. The door is like right over here, and so this door wasn't just a regular like room door. Like, it actually had like a window so you could see in. And everybody seemed distracted. I didn't even fully vet it out, but I saw an opening enough for me to get to the door and to get there. And so Rohan, my son, and I, we get to the door, and we're silent, and close it, and I do it really gentle, like close, like when you close really soft, like when I'm trying to put my son to sleep and I don't want the door to make a whole lot of noise, I barely close it. And so I close the door, and then I'm looking at the people to see if anybody noticed us, and then boom, this lady locks eyes with me, and she realizes that we got out. And so I didn't wait to see if she came after. I turn, and we break for the front door. We break for the front door, and then I as we're running, I can hear that door open, and so now I know someone's chasing me. And so I get to the front door, and we do just a little slide thing to the door, because I think I'm in my socks or something. And I open the door, and I just make a break for it. And then after I get enough space between it, I pull myself out of the dream. I wake myself up. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even know what happened to my wife, but in my spirit, I felt like she wasn't gone, but she wasn't in the dream anymore. And I think that there was a focus on my son. I'm not going to dive into it right now. I'm just going to leave the video there. So we're at 15 minutes, but I have to make something else explaining the spiritual stuff that came with it.